Hello, welcome to Furious Driving, and I am still reeling with excitement to the fact this car passed its MOT last week. I was just really so nervous that I thought there was going to be some little catch or some other little issue that meant it wasn't going to pass for whatever reason, but it went through. The only two things we have got advisories to deal with today are the drop links and the shock absorbers. In fact, there's only this corner here that had problems, but obviously you do these things in pairs. So immediately getting home from the MOT test, I went straight onto Rock Auto and ordered a pair of drop links and a pair of Motorcraft shock absorbers, which are the heavy duty ones for the P71 application, because this is a P71 police interceptor with a heavy duty suspension on it. And I couldn't believe how quickly these things turned up. I ordered them on Thursday and I paid for the FedEx one. There's like a FedEx everything included delivery option, which is actually the cheapest one normally, but it wasn't due to arrive until the middle of next week. But guess what? They arrived yesterday, so I'm going to crack on and change those bits on this car. So when the number plate finally turns up in a short while, we can get it going. There was a slight delay on getting the number plate registration documents posted off because I want to put my own number plate on this car, and it turns out, I've just read the small print, luckily in time, you have to have an insurance certificate with that number plate pre-done for a future date for when the car's registered with that new number plate on it. And I didn't have that, not yet anyway, because the car wasn't registered. So I had to wait for my insurance company to go back to their broker and underwriter and supply that and email it back so I could then print it and then post it over. You following? Yeah, I think so. Right, now let's crack on. Oh yeah, while I was on the order to Rock Auto, because the postage is the expensive part, the parts themselves are dirt cheap. I think the shock absorbers are something like $30 each. These are something like $10 each. For future servicing, I've got a couple of oil filters, which are the correct Motorcraft ones. I've got a new O-ring as well to go on the sump plug. I've got an air filter because I didn't change the air filter the other day because, well, I didn't have one. I have now, so I'll whack an air filter in it as well. Now, I am having a slight issue with my garage door today. The brackets that hold the door onto the central roller axle have all snapped, which means this is as high as I can raise the door, and that is after I managed to get some mole grips on it and give it a good old wrench. Fortunately, new parts are in the post, so they will be here probably tomorrow, and I can repair the garage door. But at least I've got the jack out now. Now, I had been having a bit of trouble with this bonnet not wanting to open. It was barely, well, if it wasn't lifting at all when you pulled the tag. So I even went as far as putting a cable tie on here so I kept something to pull so I could actually open the bonnet up. But in the meantime, I squirted the hinges, the catch mechanism with loads of white lithium grease, and that's done the trick, and that just pops up beautifully easily. Right, so there is the top of the shock absorber, which is helpfully right underneath this, I'm guessing that's an air conditioning line, so that's going to be usefully in the way for undoing that. This side is right underneath the brake lines, so again, super helpful. I did leave this hubcap wheel trim off this corner because I knew these parts were on the way. I didn't want to be having to take the hubcap on and off multiple times because I didn't want to break it and it hurts your hand. Now, I do love these Goodyear Eagle RSA tyres. I don't think they sell them in this country. I'm going to have to import some over when these wear out. So here are the new toys. Brand new Motorcraft shock absorber, just 2 bolts at the bottom, 1 fixing at the top, easy peasy. And you can see it through here, nicely rusted, so that's going to be nicely difficult. 2 easy 1/2-inch bolts at the bottom, shouldn't be a problem, covered in oil. And then we've got the drop link itself, 1 bolt at the top, guaranteed rusted solid, and then a second one at the bottom, also guaranteed rusted solid. 5 bolts per side. How hard can it be? Ah, I've said it now. And having played this game with the Freelander just a few days ago, I think I'm going to break out the cutty things immediately. Just slice this thing off and be done. Right, so I'm not going to mess around with this thing. I'm going to go straight in and just take it off because it is not playing ball at all. Well, that's what it takes to free it off, cut halfway through the thing. Haha, scrap pile. Right, so the bottom one has just got a tiny sliver of metal holding it through. This one we can beat out with a hammer. Please move. Why are you not moving? This is going well. So I've lifted the other side of the car to kind of even out the pressure, if you like, on the anti-sway bar, the anti-roll bar. So hopefully, we can now beat this thing through. Or maybe we can't. Okay, so hitting this with a hammer quite a lot is not freeing it at all. Not quite sure what I'm going to do about that, so I'm going to move on to a different game and play with the shock absorber instead. Luckily, this little damping flappy thing means I can get this thing through here and do the top of the shock absorber through there. So now I should be able to just undo those 2 half-inch bolts at the bottom and this thing will just drop out. I'm hoping I put the camera in the right place for this, so hopefully this will just drop straight out. Oh, there's a spring under here, which I think came with this car. Don't know if I'm doing that by hand. This is much easier. Well, that is easy and dirty. So that's not too bad. It's still pretty, firm and doing its damping business, but it is leaking a lot of goo. That's very messy indeed. Probably why the bolts in the bottom come undone so easily. Right, let's dispose of that and find the new one, which even comes with all new hardware. Genuine Ford parts. Even all comes bundled together in a nice bit of plastic, so you know how it's meant to go. So this feeds up through the gap in the middle. There we go. This is sort of a 2-person job at this point because you kind of need someone at the top, oops, to hold it in place while you're underneath putting the bottom bolts in. Put them in loosely first of all, just finger tight. Then you can go up top and tighten the top one up. This does all need coating with underseal and stuff down this end on the front cross member as well. By white underseal, I do of course mean rust-proofing treatment. Okay, so the rubber goes on there, followed by that. I think the 9/16 again probably. And this will gradually draw the shock up through the tower a little bit. There we go. This can be used very gently if you stick it on the low setting, or just gently tight. I don't have a torque setting for this, so I'm just going with quite tight. That's in, all new hardware, so should be good. Just finished tightening up at the top now. And the 1/4-inch spanner actually fits quite well on there, so now one shock absorber done. Let's go and repeat that on the other side because I'm bored of that drop link already. Right, well this side looks like it should be pretty much exactly the same deal and a lot easier because I know what I'm doing, having done one just a minute ago, he says with misplaced confidence as the first bolt refuses to undo. Oh good, it's just spinning. The other is toast. Oh, brilliant. Well, that's a good start. So that's a 1/2 inch, just going to hammer a 12mm on there. Right, I'm going to start off by cooking the thing. Get it really hot. Then I can hammer the 12mm on and hopefully that'll undo it. It's moving. It's gone, but it's moving. Thank goodness they give you all new hardware, because this one, even after I'd boiled it, hammered on the 12mm, freed it with the Where's it gone? The impact. It then jammed up again, so I had to boil it repeatedly and then turn it half a turn with the vice grips, small grips, reboil it with the induction heater, turn it half a turn, boil it again, over and over and over again. That took forever just to undo one bolt. Thankfully, the top one will be an awful lot easier because I'm just going to cut it off. Right, let's hope this thing comes off easy, okay. Yep. Well, this one's not leaking, but it's certainly seen better days, so definitely time to be changing it. I should probably got real ones in as well, shouldn't I? Right, so once again we've got the new shock absorber, Motorcraft, genuine item, new top hardware, new rubber, new top bracket mount, new bolts to go in the bottom, and all genuine parts, which I do love using genuine parts. So let's get this thing up in here and done. You really can see why the fleet managers, the police departments love these things, because it wasn't for the fact that these bolts were just rusted in there after 20 years of Ohio salty snowy winters. This would be literally a 10-minute job to change a front shock. I've cut the rest of this a threaded bar off because it was kind of, well, not exactly in the way, but it's been misshapen where I've been hammering it, so I'm going to use a ball separator to, or try and separate this ball joint. Okay, that's really not doing anything. Man, not live, that is properly wanged in there. Can't believe that. Can I separate the bottom one? I wonder. Yeah, the bottom one comes out, but you need to pull the top one out first in order to free it. That is having none of it. I'm going to have to drill the centre point through this thing through. This should not take this long. Jesus. You know things are going well when you're breaking out the HSS steel drill bits to take out one of these things. Right, that weakened a bit. Maybe we can whack this through some more and free it off. Yes! There we go. A simple task, I'm sure you'll agree. All it took was an alligator saw, a mallet, a splitty doodah thingy, a drill, heat. Don't know why people don't do this for fun. Let's just pop the new one in now. Unfortunately, again, it all comes with new hardware, so you can just whack it straight in. Job is a good un, as they say. That's a 15mm, I believe. Oh no, this is smaller than that. 5/8? No. No, what size was this? 9/16. Yeah, this one's 9/16. It's different to what came off. It's weird working on a post-millennial car and using imperial tools on it. Really strange. Oh, I need a 6mm Allen key, don't I? Okay, that is properly bizarre. So I've got a 9/16 screw, nut, and a 6mm Allen key. Great combination of the old and the new. I think a few people commented on the previous video on the MOT time that this has got brand new discs and pads, which I forgot to mention on. Yeah, there's not even any lip wear at all. This has basically been driven around whatever yard it was being kept in, probably the motor pool car park, having had them changed, and it's like brand new. It's amazing. I just found a fun thing. You have to put this on before you put the thread through, otherwise you can't get the bolt on the end of the thread. Every day's a school day, as they say. Oh no, don't you give me trouble getting this thing out now. I thought I was going to cut this one in half. Okay, second time lucky here. And luckily there's a hole in the bottom member, so you can not quite, that's really good, you can almost but not quite get an Allen key onto there. Brilliant, that's really good. Oh, well, that is now done. I've got to say, I really don't fancy doing the other one now. That was such a pain in the bum, and since the other one's actually okay, I'm kind of tempted to just leave this until this goes in for some other work at a garage and just have it in the glove box and get them to do it at the same time. I might boil a cup of tea and then see how I feel. Well, the car's in the air. I've got the parts. It looks tired as well. It's not failed, but it looks tired. So let's just get it off and get it done. Oh, bloody hell. It's amazing what cutting halfway through a bolt will do for it. Right, okay, so this one, thankfully, with a bit of wellying from the ball joint separator, has come away at the top. There is a sliver of metal at the bottom though, which means it's not coming away at the bottom, which is really a problem. Continue attacking it with the saw, which is actually starting to go pretty blunt now, which is why it's not going through anymore. Hey! All it took was an alligator saw, an angle grinder, ball joint breaker, and a mallet, and it just pops off like nothing, like butter. Don't know why people don't do these things for fun every day. Getting this 6mm Allen key through the hole actually takes quite a bit of effort with the what do you call it, the pry bar, to move it into the right place. Ow! I'm gonna call that done. Oh, let's not forget the lights. Be wanting those soon. It's both sides done. Right, well now everything's done. The brakes were brand new before the car left America. They've got new shock absorbers on it. The drop links are done in there. It's all tightened up. We can put this back on and kind of forget about taking the wheels off for a while. Let's kind of line up the air valve doodah. There we go. I do still have half an idea to change these for the dog dish type caps, but that would mean getting the wheels sandblasted and powder coated before I did that. But these have kind of grown on me in a way I didn't think they would. Right, the only thing left to do from the big package from Rock Auto in America now is the air filter, which I don't know was changed before the car came over or not. Doesn't look too bad though. I mean, I'll be honest, that looks fairly recent. It's a little bit dirty, but not too bad. Compare that with, okay, it looks a bit dirty. Yeah, I'll put a fresh one in. This is like £8, it's not worth quibbling over. Okay, this is actually kind of interesting. This is made by Baldwin Filters, or I've never heard of. It's an American brand, I guess. Made in Morocco, so amazingly came from Africa all the way to America, not some Chinesium. But this was made on the 28th of May, 2012. So this filter is 10 years old. I can't believe it's been in that airbox for nearly 10 years. It must have been sat on a shelf for a few years, but certainly that does suggest it's been there a while. Great, so now I can write up another page of this car's history. The 8 pages of documentation came over from this car's complete everything that's ever happened to it in America, workshop history basically, every time anything happened. So now I can start a new page for its new life here in the UK with oil and filter change, air filter change, front shocks changed, drop links changed. Yeah, the car's looking good. So there we are done. Just need to take it for a quick test drive up and down the drive to make sure we're all good. Right. I love that V8 burble. Right, let's just see if this rolls up and down okay. It goes over the clonk at the end of the drive without any issue. Yep, that feels good. It's nice and wobbly at the top of the drive, so I think we're all good. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, that's smooth. It actually feels a bit more tight. Even on that little bump there, feels tighter than it did before. Gosh, I tell you what, that interior dome light, the police spec one, is surprisingly bright. Right, so I am really happy. This has taken way longer than I thought it would, because basically 5 bolts per side should have taken about 15 or 20 minutes, and I should have been done pretty in under an hour. But as per usual, it's taken half a day to do a really simple task. This is a brilliantly engineered car, so if this was not rusted up bolts, this is so perfectly quick that the guys in the motor pool could have these in and out in a morning for pretty much most tasks, which is why these cars are such massive favourites of police forces for so long, and still are in fact. But now the situation we have is that there were 3 advisories on the MOT. One was a misting shock absorber, one was a deteriorating bush on the drop link. Those are both changed on both sides now, so that's all good. The front end's now good to go. That extra bit of corrosion, which basically surface rust, he did let me have a look at it under the car on the ramp, means I've just got to get back under there with the wire brushes and the rust proofing paint, and at some point I'll do that. Not today though. Oh, I've had enough today. I'm going to go have a sit down and a cup of tea and maybe even a biscuit. Right, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please, as always, hit like and subscribe. Join me again next time when, I don't know, I might go do some more Freelander stuff, or maybe even the V8. I keep tempting with the V8, so we'll do some soon, promise. Take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon.